Good evening and salutations, my Weiner fans. So, Adam and Chelsea have opposites, they have opposite opinions about how they want to sit there and take care of Connor. Adam wants Connor to stay close to home, maybe get a second opinion, and Chelsea wants to, send him to that school where he can get the help that he needs. And the thing about this The thing about this is that I agree with Chelsea, right? Because coddling him and trying to go for seconds and thirds and fourth opinions is not going to solve the problem, right? Now, when it comes to this whole thing, and I'm not sitting there like dunking or, you know, crapping on anyone's opinion. But when it comes to this whole thing, I've read comments when I watch the show, and a lot of people are snitter saying now Chelsea's out of line, and she's pretty much kind of forcing Adam to agree with her. And I feel like because Adam in this show is always getting the short end of the stick, people are siding with him off of emotions, right? Like they're not really sitting there looking at it like, yeah, I can see where Chelsea's coming from. They're just like, poor Adam is not sitting there getting his opinion heard. Now, after a while, Adam does um, realize what Chelsea's saying, looking at the facility and everything like that, and be like, you know what, I can see what you're saying. I get it. But then Billy comes in, and that's when things just goes completely sideways. And it goes sideways because Chelsea does something that I feel like is out of pocket, right? Like she's sharing this information with Billy and, trying to get his opinion on it. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is this is why when it comes to us dating someone who has a child and how much input that they have in that person's life can always get very complicated and very muddy. And so, he gets pissed off and he gets defensive and he feels like he's being ganged up on, which isn't the truth. He's not being ganged up on, but it's out of pocket for her to be sharing this information with somebody who's, what I'm saying, like that's not his dad. Adam is his dad, you know? And while Chelsea may not have the same issues if Adam decided to share this with Sally, he has an issue with that. And seeing how they have history, she should have really thought about that. So she's out of pocket for doing that. Now this whole conversation with Lily and Devon about firing Heather and Daniel, because pretty much what it really comes down to is how Lily's going to feel about going to the office every day, being uncomfortable, being hurt and everything like that, and just about minimizing her pain. But then I look at this and I'm like, you know, if we're going to be honest, Lily should have probably never been dating him in the first place. This is the reason why we have these. Like, if you work at any job once a year, well, most people, I imagine, that you have to sit there and watch this annoying and patronizing video about work, office place politics, and fraternizing and things of that nature to avoid situations like this, right? And so while they're sitting there discussing should they fire him, I mean, should they fire those two or not, Billy comes in, and Billy, in this point, is literally the sound of reason, you know? Because he's like, you can't do this, right? First of all, they're both out of pocket for not even sitting there putting him in the loop. Regardless of how you feel about him, they were wrong for even doing that. So he comes in, midpoint. He's like, "Yo, what are you talking about? You firing people? You got in the company? What are you doing? And why am I not informed on any of this?" Now, because Lily is still in her feelings, she's all like, "So you plan on going back to Jabal? You plan on doing that?" He's like, no, I'm good right here. This is where I'm gonna be at." She's all like, "Well, you took over my office." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I mean, you were gone, but if you're gonna sit there and be all pissy about it, I can always relocate to a different office since you want to sit there and harp on that." But the bottom line is like, he's like, "Well, why are you firing him?" And Devon and Lily cannot be bothered to sit there and give him a simple answer. I'm like, we're not in high school. We're grown ass adults that have kids. We should be able to sit there and talk about this. So he has to sit there and fish this information out. He realized, okay, you're not in a relationship, and that's why you're in a fire. And instead of Devon being an actual boss and Lily being an actual boss and discussing this, they're just like, well, we'll sit there and talk about it and we get back to you. No. How about we don't do that because we're all on the same level here? You don't sit there and try to treat him like he's some sort of intern. What are you doing at this point? And he starts telling them the different ramifications of what could wind up happening if you fire them. Not to mention that they could sit there and file a lawsuit, which is an actual thing. But outside of what they didn't actually do anything wrong company wise. And they're actually really great at their job. The job is profiting from what they're doing. So, bottom line is, Lily, it sucks. And he's like, "I'm sorry that you have to sit there and deal with this, but you need to sit there and put on your big girl pants and be an actual boss." And like I said before, you probably shouldn't have been sitting there dating somebody who you are a boss of. Like, that was out of pocket for you. So he pretty much kind of sets him straight. And then Devon's like, "You know what? Listen, I may not like Billy, but he has a point." Lily, of course, is still in her high school mentality, 12-year-old girl status, and just like, "Nope, I don't see it." And long story short, when she runs into Heather and Daniel, she's like, "Okay, you're fired." Just like that. And she tries to make up some BS excuse talking about, well, it's gonna be bad for office tension and this, that, and the third, and I gotta sit there and try to do what's right for my family's company. Okay, so if she decides to file a wrongful termination suit, do you think that's gonna be good for the family company? Because honestly, tell you the truth, bottom line is it's gonna start from the top. And Jill is gonna be like, well, why were you sitting there dating him in the first place? And it didn't work out, and you couldn't sit there and be professional enough to sit there and handle it. Now we gotta sit there and deal with a lawsuit? Come on, bro. You just all out of pockets, no matter how you sit there and try to spin this around. Daniel and Heather, even before that, was sitting there trying to talk about what they were gonna do. If because Daniel was like, "I'm not gonna fight her on this, if she fires me," and that's exactly what Lily and Devon was counting on. I mean, this whole thing is just out of pocket. And then Abby comes in there and she puts in her 2 cents, talking about, yeah, I think that Louis should fire them. She shouldn't have to sit there and this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, Abby, it's a good thing you're not sitting there dating one of your employees because I'm pretty sure if you sat there and fired him, he would sue. And at the very least, it would definitely take a hit for your reputation. But and also, in all reality, she's sitting there talking about firing those two. And I'm like, bro, you know, you cheated on your husband. You pretty much wrecked your home. And you would think maybe you would have a little bit more compassion in this situation because you acted on emotion. And that's literally what they did. And I'm not saying what they did was right, but I thought she was actually going to have a little more compassion because she's been in a similar situation. Instead, she just goes 180 and is like, "Nope, I think that you should fire them." What? I feel like that's the gist of the episode for more or less. But as always, I'm gonna sit there and have more to say. So, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, because I know I feel like I missed one or two things that happened in this episode, but all in all, I enjoyed the episode. It was good. So if you didn't watch it, definitely give it a watch. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about everything I just said about the episode in general. And again, come to the live stream tonight. Because I do sit there and talk about all the shows. And even though sometimes the majority of people come in is GH, that does not mean I'm going to exclude anyone from talking about the Young and the Restless. So just keep that in mind. That goes for BNB and Days as well. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.